Hello and welcome to the UPSC podcast. Today we have with us Naweed sir. Naweed sir is a law optional faculty, and he's just not a law optional faculty. He has been a law graduate student, 5 years law from Bombay University, followed by 2 years LLM course from National Law School, which is I think the most prestigious law school in our country, Bangalore. And since then he has been associated with Rao's IAS. I think all of us who are watching this video already know Naweed sir. He has been a part of Rao's IAS. But today we are going to discuss something very different. Today we have taken up demystifying the law optional as a topic for today's video, because he has been receiving a lot of queries related to the law optional. Queries like, sir, I am not a law graduate, can I take law as an optional? I am a law graduate, but still is it a good choice for me to take the law optional or not? Is it a very lengthy syllabus? How overlapping is it with GS 1234 and all sorts of doubts. And so we decided, why not create a video so that it becomes easier for our viewers to understand law optional. So I welcome you, sir.
Thank you very much, Vaibhav.
So sir, one of the myths surrounding the law optional, and I want to take this as a very first question, is that unlike other subjects, unlike other options like PSIR, anthropology, sociology, law optional is considered to be that subject where non-law students generally don't prefer making law as their optional while they are pursuing their UPSC journey. And it is generally considered that only those people who have background in law subject, they take up law as an optional. So do you think it is the correct view, or is it just a myth?
See, Vaibhav, any optional is based on a student's interest, and there is nothing different with law as an optional.
That is correct.
And speaking from a technical aspect, whether non-law graduate can take law as an optional or not, or whether it is allowed by UPSC or not, the answer is yes. But ultimately it boils down to a student's interest. Now, it's possible that while studying, GS, we study Constitution under GS paper 2, we study about international relation. So entire Constitution is
go
a part.
Through a lot of case laws while reading newspaper.
We study about the landmark judgments, right? Kesavananda Bharati, A.K. Gopalan, Puttaswamy, and so many, Menaka Gandhi. Now, all these judgments obviously have to be studied under paper 1, which is a part of constitutional law. So ultimately, for both law graduates as well as non-law graduates, the idea is upon their interest. Now, just the reverse of that, it's also seen that even law graduates tend not to take law as an optional subject. So that also happens. Because it's possible that the student might find interest in some other paper. For example, public administration or political science or any other paper. So ultimately it boils down to a student's interest, and any optional should be based on a student's interest, because ultimately the idea is to clear the exam.
Correct. So just like a person takes a particular optional based on the subject interest, that interest should also be applied, that interest parameter should also be applied while considering law optional.
Absolutely.
And so as we have said, if the person is finding polity interesting, if the person is finding case laws interesting, reading about Supreme Court judgments and obsessing about it, that person might also like law optional. So that is what you are recommending.
See, what I am saying is that law is a very technical paper, or in a way you can say is a very professional paper. Now, talking about law graduates particularly. So, in law schools, there is a 5 years course, and in colleges generally there is a 3 years course. Now, there is also another myth that those students or students who are going through a 5 years course are more suited for law optional. Let me tell you, the student who is studying a 3 years course is more apt, because that is according to the syllabus. Because a 5-year course student, actually, if you look at their degree, it is BA LLB honors or BCom LLB honors or even BSc LLB honors. So they are also studying subjects of humanity such as political science, sociology, history. But in 3 years course, they are directly studying about law. Now, having said that, any optional, including law, depends on two things. What is the syllabus? What UPSC has given the syllabus, and what are the various PYQs, previous year's questions asked based on those elements of syllabus. For example, if you talk about law, paper 1 deals with constitutional law, administrative law and international law. Although if you look at the syllabus, the word administrative law is not there.
Yes.
But we understand that yes, certain elements of administrative law is there through going through the syllabus, such as the syllabus says about principles of natural justice, about ombudsman. So we decipher the syllabus and then we understand, okay, these aspects, entire constitutional law, even say principles of natural justice, we study generally even throughout our UPSC preparation, right? And also, Vaibhav, there is one myth which I want to break it, that the syllabus is very vast and it is very low scoring. See, when you study law optional, then there are certain corresponding elements of GS papers which automatically gets covered, such as the entire polity part, including the governance, and it also helps you in the essay writing and also GS paper 4. So don't just see law optional as a mere optional subject of 500 marks. This knowledge or this understanding about these topics along with these current legal developments will also help you in boosting or uplifting your marks or value adding your answers in the GS papers as well.
That is correct. So you're saying that there is a significant overlap between law optional and it is going to help at various places in GS 1, 2, 3, 4 syllabus obviously. Also, what I got to learn today is that people who have done just the LLP or just the graduation course in law are well in tune or exactly in alignment with the UPSC law optional subject.
Absolutely. Now, see, I am saying this strictly based on what UPSC has given us the syllabus. As I was saying, that paper 1 comprises of constitutional law, administrative law and international law.
Correct.
All these are part of the 5 years course as well as the 3 years course. Coming to paper 2, it comprises of law of crimes, which we see IPC, and now a new bill is also on the corner, the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita.
Correct.
Let's see whether the government approves it or not. Then we have the law of contract or the mercantile law, where we deal with various aspects of contractual obligations, including sales of good and even negotiable instruments act. Then we have law of torts or the civil wrong. Again, these are elementary subjects taught both in 3 years and 5 years. And then there is contemporary legal development. Now, students are mostly confused about this fourth element of contemporary legal development because they think everything under the sun needs to be studied. Again, here the cue has to be taken from the syllabus itself. If you go through the syllabus under contemporary legal development, there are exactly 8 subpoints, which includes topics like PIL, topics like trial by media, topics like IPR or competition law. Now, these are such general subtopics in general, which we often read in the newspapers with respect to any development. And if you go through some of the questions asked by UPSC in the past, then certain elements of these current legal developments are asked through these 8 subtopics. So, overall, the idea is to understand the syllabus as prescribed by UPSC and also go through the PYQ. Because, see, idea is here is not to master the subject, idea here is to score and get through the mains examination and qualify for the interview. So the approach is very crystallized rather than a decentralized approach.
So having looked at past 5 to 8 years optional papers, what is your take? Is it a static paper or is it a current affairs paper, or it is balanced between both the static and the current affairs? I mean, the basic question is, as an aspirant, we were always very concerned about what are the updates which have happened in last 1 or 2 years in the optional subject. So do we need a lot of updation even in the optional paper?
I have 2 things to say here.
Okay.
First, any of these papers which I mentioned with respect to paper 1 or paper 2, you need conceptual clarity. Now, whether you consider conceptual clarity as a part of basic, static or dynamic, it totally depends on the nature of the question. Second thing is that, suppose a new Supreme Court judgment comes. For example, let's say Puttaswamy judgment, or let's say Navtej Singh Chauhan judgment, or any other landmark judgment. Let's say the judgment of M. Nagaraj. So, the idea here again is to understand the concepts of that topic, be it constitutional law, be it international law, be it law of torts or any other law within the parameters of the syllabus. And if any development has taken place, then that development obviously needs to be understood. Suppose tomorrow a judgment comes with respect to same-sex marriage, then that becomes important because it hampers or it impacts the fundamental rights of citizens, particularly Article 14, 15, 19 and 21.
Correct.
And the most important fundamental rights. So definitely you have to understand these developments, but also from a conceptual perspective.
Correct.
Not only to say that static or dynamic study or things needs to be studied.
That is correct. Sir, one of the main problems faced by students in optional subject is how to prepare, from where to prepare. Not everyone wants to do coaching and they want to prepare on their own. So in that case, are there some set of book list or some books that you prescribe, some sources that you prescribe? What is your approach when you teach it in the classes?
See, the approach here, as I've said, the approach is to understand the concept. Now, it may differ for different students.
Correct.
It's possible that someone may like to study from MP Jain, constitutional law, or someone else may just go through the Dukki books, generally used by the DU students, the Ashok Jain books. So, it is if the conceptual clarity can be obtained from either of these books. The idea again here is not to become a legal scholar, but the idea is to be in a situation of conceptual clarity so that you can write that answer.
So what are some set of books or notes that you can recommend to the students when they want to prepare for the law optional?
See, for all those students who want to prepare on their own, obviously there are a set of standard books such as MP Jain for constitutional law, or Malcolm Shaw for international law, or P.S. Pillai for Indian Penal Code. But again, the idea is not to go through the entire bulky text, but only the important reference part.
So read the syllabus and try to find out where that syllabus has been addressed in the bulky book, and just read those things.
Read those important aspects such as any given topic or any judgments. So read those aspects of the judgments.
So I am sure that there are a lot of books which have to be read in law optional. So can we help our viewers and provide the list of good books which have to be prepared for UPSC examination?
I can provide that definitely, but for those who will be attending the classes, there will be class notes available. As I said, I'll ask the students to read certain part of the book, but the idea is to engage them in the class discussion, and then there will be proper notes provided to the students.
So the classes will be mainly in the form of discussion.
And obviously
and towards the end you are going to get them the notes to complete
notes or even certain printed format based on the demand of that particular topic.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for highlighting a lot of the important aspects of law optional. And for all the viewers, Naweed sir is our law optional faculty and he is going to float a new batch on 6th of October. From 6th of October. So stay tuned on Rouse Eye Study Circle for more updates on UPSC preparation.